Hello everyone, welcome to Mary's Little House. Peanut and I are just so glad you came. There's my baby. He was sleeping. He was anticipating my talking. He started sleeping. He is such a good dog and so loyal. He wants to be with me all the time, even though he has a nice comfortable bed in there. He chooses my very uncomfortable lap. But anyway, we all welcome you this Sunday afternoon. I still got my Sunday best on after celebrating Mass at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Snows in Belleville, Illinois. And we're just down the bluff. There on the top of the bluff, the shrine of our Blessed Mother, Our Lady of Snows, and we're at the bottom of the bluff here at Mary's Little House. We're so happy that you came to visit. We welcome you. I hope you enjoy your little virtual visit on this YouTube video. In the background, we just received from the manager of one of the thrift stores that I work with in giving out things that the thrift store can't sell or can't display, or for whatever reason that they give it to me, and I clean it up, fix it up, whatever, and we give out gift bags with these things in. But this was a special thing. The manager herself put it in one of the bags for me. This beautiful porcelain ceramic of our Blessed Mother and Jesus. And this, let me just get a closer look. This is in Italy. They perfected this beautiful artistic way of ceramic and porcelain. It's always on blue. The background is blue and white ceramic porcelain porcelain surface. You see the Blessed Mother. It's just beautiful. It's even in good condition, not all nicked up and things. You see the Blessed Mother holding the infant Jesus in his innocence, in his baby innocence of his nakedness. The artist always in the Renaissance and in this motif. This is the motif they use in porcelain, ceramic porcelain. It's showing that Jesus was really human. Jesus became flesh like one of us, so that's why the baby doesn't have any diaper on or anything. It's showing the innocence, and the innocence is even more accented by he's reaching for lilies, lilies over here. He's reaching out from his mother's lap. I never saw anything like this. Usually they're in round, and I'll show you one that our foundress Cynthia Rolahan, my dear Cindy, bought when she was in Italy. This is a more typical one of this genre of porcelain, ceramic porcelain. It's real glassy like and everything. It's lovely, the blue and the white. But then they have a wreath around it with fruits, different fruits that set it off. This is very typical, and Cindy knew about all this, and I wish she were here to explain it to you about this genre of ceramic porcelain surface things that the Italians have really come to perfect. It's just beautiful, and it's also a baby here, little baby Jesus here, being held by his mother in his infancy. Okay, I'm just so glad to be able to be with you to share these, because this one just came in by way of the manager of one of the thrift stores that I work with. I was so grateful. When I looked in there, I couldn't believe it. Usually things are beat up or something like that, and we have to fix them up, but that's in good shape, and it's a real treasure. And it's so beautiful, so delightful. The mother, the little baby Jesus reaching out for those lilies. Oh, okay, what we wanted to talk to you about last February the 21st was the feast of St. Damien, bishop and doctor of the church. And he wrote this little thing about the sign of the cross. Now the cross, remember, is when we say a cross, it's just plain cross. When we say a crucifix, it's Jesus on the cross. And he's telling us to have the sign of the cross everywhere we very to keep it in the forefront of our attention. The sign of the cross, this saving sign of the cross on which Jesus died, offered himself to the Father to save us, that we have hope of eternal life. And I just want to read this little essay, and I want to comment while I'm reading. Forgive me, St. Peter Damian, for my comments, because you are a doctor of the church, but I'm just a little worker in the vineyard. Anyway, the saving sign of the cross. Whatever is commanded through evangelical precepts of poverty, chastity, and obedience. We all are called. Religious make vows of them. There's their vows of religion, but we're all called to be pure, poverty, to be not attached to material things. That's poverty, chastity, purity, and obedience. We're all called to be obedient to the will of God and those in authority that hold the will of God for us. Okay, so all of these three evangelical precepts, poverty, chastity, and obedience, is undoubtedly related to the cross, as the Lord proclaims. So the cross helps us live these gospel counsels, or the evangelical precepts: poverty, chastity, and obedience. Not being attached to material things, poverty. We could have material things, but they can't possess us. Chastity, to be chaste in our station of life, as our station of life demands, and obedience to God's will. Okay, so the cross helps us do this, and our Lord himself proclaims, "Whoever will come after me," he says, Jesus, "let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me." That's living the counsels, or the evangelical precepts. So Jesus is inviting us. I always love this, because we have to. It's an invitation, and we either could say no. I don't think any of us would do that, or we would put it off. I think a lot of us would do that, including myself sometimes. Whoever will come after me. Okay, we're going to follow Jesus. Jesus says, let him deny himself. That's denying himself, his own desires, her own desires, all the things that are self-centered and self-absorbed. Take up his cross daily. That's the obedience part, doing the Father's will, and follow me. And that's just watching what Jesus does, watching where he's leading us. He always leads us with the cross. To be sure, I'm reading now again, St. Damian, to be sure, this cross is rightly called holy to the Lord. Because, why is it holy? The world, which until then had been profaned, is blessed by it. So the cross, that the world was profaned by sin, stained by sin, drenched in the mire of sin, and the cross raised it out of sin, and made the world blessed, holy again. This is what the cross is. And so it's holy because its blessing made the world, blessed the world, made it holy again, got it out of sin, and given hope of ultimately overcoming not only sin, but the effect of sin, death, the resurrection. Okay, so here's what he's giving to these counsels here. Now he's writing a long time ago, and he died in 1072, so the language is a little different here, but it's okay. He's a doctor of the church, so his teaching is for every age. Paint this sign of your cross. Paint this sign of your life. Paint this sign of your life as if the life being the cross, that this is our life, as if on your forehead, like this. You know, when we were baptized, the first thing the priest did after welcoming in the parents and everything, and the godparents and the party, put a sign of the cross on our foreheads like that. Then ask the parents, mom and dad, and the godparents to do the same. We're signed with the sign of the cross. Okay, with our baptism. Also imprinted no less on the threshold of your heart. So in the heart is where we love, where we choose. So to keep the sign of the cross impressed upon our heart, so we choose only what God was pleasing to God. Okay, so on the threshold, on the door of the cross. In the religious houses, many of the religious houses have a cross over the door, a doorway in the religious community or in the religious house, reminding them of the cross. They keep it over the doorway to remind them of their death. And in some traditions, some religious, they use that same cross that's over the kitchen or the refectory door to put in the next person who dies in the casket with the next person, that person with his in the hands of the dead person, of the dead religious sister or brother. So that's over the threshold of usually it's internal within the religious house. So this is the cross. I'm getting back to the crucifix. This is the image of Jesus, the corpus of Jesus. This is the crucifix. Okay, but we're talking about the cross now. Okay. So the threshold of your heart, imprinted no less on the threshold of your heart, on the doorway of your heart, so that when the avenging angel perceives this, he will not delay to pass over without ceasing, without causing you injury. So it's protection too. Remember when on the Passover, when the Egyptians would God wouldn't let the people go, and the last punishment for Pharaoh was the firstborn of every family, but God saved the Jewish people by giving them telling them to get a lamb and take the blood of the lamb that they're going to eat later for the Passover meal, and put it over the lintel and the doorposts, and that would save them, their firstborn, from death, from the avenging angel. Well, the cross is the same way. It'll save us from sin, and the avenging angel can't come and injure us. Let these phylacteries hang from before your eyes without ceasing. The old days, the Jewish people had phylacteries. They were hanging things with little boxes in them with the law in them, and they were hanging them right in front of them. They were dangling in front of them. Well, the cross should be before our eyes, just like it's at the doorway of our hearts, before our eyes too. The phylacteries hanging before your eyes without cease. Let these marks brand your body on every side. That's the sign of the cross, and the marks is Jesus' stigmata, his wounds in his hands, in his heart, his chest, and in his feet. And as the apostle, that St. Paul, testified concerning himself, I, he said, bear the marks of Jesus in my body. The stigmata, the marks of Jesus' hands, his breast, his heart, and his feet. But it was all of us can bear the marks, even though we don't have the external marks. Like Padre Pio, who had the really physical marks. We could bear the marks of Jesus, of his passion in our bodies. Okay. Now some more practical things, and these are a little harder to understand because he lived in the 1000s. Break the body with fast. In other words, our body, we must have moderation. We must deny ourselves and not be a slave to pleasure. Abstain from your own desires. Now, these desires are not good desires, but the desires of the flesh. to respond to every appetite and everything, things that aren't good for us anyway. Submit yourself in very prompt devotion to the command of another's order. Be obedient. Be obedient to those in lawful authority, and do it promptly. Don't do it happily, because when you do that, when you do the will of your superiors and your boss and everything, you're pleasing God, because their authority comes from God. Let the modest judgment of silence check the impudent remarks of an insolent tongue. Avoid gossip. Just be quiet. Just smile. Just love. Just look out and see the people get caught in the awful grapevine of gossip and things. It's very, very hard to see that, and they're taken up by that, and it breaks down trust, because those who gossip to you gossip about you. And so be silent, pray for them. So the judgment of silence, just be silent, silent, silent when there is impudent tongue. Oh, and and let the charms of droll speech not break out. That they're talking about bragging and about calling attention to ourselves, and we're just humble servants of the Lord. We don't have to impress anybody. Let the rigor of severe countenance tear out the illicit emotions of the carnal passions. Real hard. That we don't things that are illicit emotions within our body and our mind, our hearts, to avoid them at all costs. So that for you who die now with Christ, we're dying with Christ. That's what we mean, that denying our very selves, to our old person, to all that's yucky and sinful and selfish and self trying to put self on number one and not Jesus, but only God's will as Jesus. All of those things, we die to that, and all of those things. That's the cross. That's the cross. The heavier His cross is observed to be in your life, the heavier our cross, the more that we get to share in the cross. What a privilege it is. That's where suffering becomes such a privilege. The heavier the cross in our lives, the more fully the glory of His resurrection will accrue to you. The more fully we will be alive with the risen Lord, with the graces of the risen Lord. And so being one with Him on the cross, following Him, taking up our cross, denying ourselves daily, the yucky stuff, with God's grace and help, and following Jesus daily. It's not a part-time job. It's not this Sunday morning. It's all Sunday afternoon and all Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's following Jesus. God bless you. I'm so glad I got to be with you. Have a wonderful week. That I have a wonderful Sunday. I always wish people happy Sunday. My son always calls in and tells me happy Sunday, and I've got a lot of friends now saying happy Sunday. That's not original. Our Holy Fathers do it from the balcony when they do the Angelus. They say Bona Dominica. I don't know how to but happy Sunday. That's what it means anyway in English. God bless you. I'm so glad to be with you and share the treasures of the church, the treasures of humanity in these beautiful porcelain ceramic creations that come from the wonderful country of Italy, especially these charming ones with Jesus and the Blessed Mother. God bless you. Have a happy Sunday, those who are going to be seeing this today, and may you just know that the Lord is with you through everything. That you have nothing to fear. I found this. Just one more thing, and I'll let you go. This is venerable. This is Saint John Marie Vianney. A house founded on the cross will fear neither wind nor rain nor storm. Saint John Vianney, Venerable Pauline Marie Jericho's a picture. That's why I got all messed up. This. She's a venerable. She's Africanization, and she quoted this from Saint John Saint John Vianney, a patron saint of all priests. Anyway, he says a house. This has to do with the cross. That's why and this is one of her venerable. Um, Venerable Pauline Marie Jericho, who loved the missions and did great things for the missions of the church to spread the gospel to the whole world. Well, anyway, she liked this saying, and it's under her picture. A house founded on the cross, will fear neither wind nor rain nor storm. How can you lose when there's suffering? It's not a negative. It's a positive, because we embrace that suffering. Yes, we do everything to help people when they suffer. The church founded hospitals. It's the biggest, had the largest non-governmental chains of hospitals all over the world. And where there's no hospitals at all, in the mission countries, they're the first to found dispensaries, the church. So we do try to allay suffering. Suffering isn't a good in itself, but when we embrace it, when it is God's will that we are suffering, it becomes a great grace, and we experience even more the victory of the resurrection. So fear not when we cling to the cross. We're on solid ground. We'll fear neither wind nor rain nor storm. We have nothing to fear with the cross. God bless you.